Latasha, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing? So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that we finally connected. We connected for 2 seconds at FinCon. We got a quick hug in, and then we both ran in opposite directions, never to be seen again.
Right, so much stuff happening at FinCon, so much. We were both speaking. It
See,
was so crazy that week.
yeah, and I can't remember. Was that your first FinCon?
It was, and it
What
was
did
so
you think?
awesome. It was just so amazing to see everybody from Instagram and the personal finance community online. Like, I seen a
Yeah.
lot of familiar faces. Was like, oh my God, you're really here. So it's so cool to
Yes.
see everybody, see a lot of the personal finance, individuals in person.
Yeah, for sure. It's always wild because you're just some people are exactly how you expected them to be, and then some people are completely different, or they're just way
Yeah.
shorter than you thought, or really
Oh my
tall.
God. I know, like, oh my God, they're so tall, like, or they're so
Yes.
short. It's really cute.
Yes. No, I always give Melissa and Delianne crap because Delianne and Melissa both have 6 foot tall energy, but then you meet them in
They do.
person and they're both 5 feet tall.
I know. I was like, oh my God, they're like the same height. Like, and I
Yep.
follow their content, and it's all amazing. Like, they're so awesome, right?
Mhm.
And it was just so cool to see them in person. And I was just like, oh my God, they're shorter than what I thought, but it's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And I just love that we're all it's not super competitive. We're all just friends, you know?
Yes, and that's the big thing, like being friends, everybody has their space, and it's just like we're all working together to help,
Mhm.
individuals more money, pay off debt, invest, or whatever the case may be, and that's just like the cool thing about it, I think, because everybody has like their special expertise, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that leads us perfectly into first a little introduction. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Money Bear podcast. This is the podcast where we get real bear about money. And today I've got Latasha on. Latasha is from Arts and Budgets, and she is the queen of passive income through her blog. She's got resources on that. And Latasha, we're so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So give us your little elevator speech. Whenever somebody's tell us about yourself, what do you do? Because even before we started recording, I was like, wait, do you do this full time? I didn't even realize that this has been your full-time job since 2016. So she's like an OG content creator. So tell us,
Yeah.
give us the elevator speech.
Yeah, so for sure. So like in 2016, I started the blog Arts and Budgets because my background is in music and theater. So I've always had side hustles, right? My friends would come to me and say, hey, Latasha, how are you making extra money? Can you help us get some side hustles? I think at one point I got like 4 of my friends hired at a performing art high school that I was teaching at as sub teachers. So I've always just loved helping individuals find ways to make money. So in
Mhm.
2016, when I was pregnant with my first son, I said, yo, I want to stay at home and I want to start this blog. I want to help individuals find resources to make more money, to pay off debt, to build wealth. Like, I really just want to dive into this. And he was like, yes, let's do this. I'll work, and take care of the house while you go do that and build that. And I did that. And for the first year, I didn't make any money, a lot of trial and error. But then a year later, I started to really monetize my blog through the traffic, which is one of the best ways to do it passively using Pinterest. Because at that point, I didn't know
Mm.
about search engine optimization, but I used Pinterest. And then from there, I started to get like 40 to 50,000 page views per month. And I was able
Wow.
to apply to Mediavine, which is my ad publishing company. And I started to make money through the blog that way of, I would say, May of 2017. So a year and a half later.
Very cool. That's it's so mystical and amazing to me because I've been and I'm going to use air quotes, blogger, like a casual blogger on Clover for a really long time, but I've never done it in a way that's monetizing or anything. So I can't wait to just hear all the things about blogging in today's conversation because I think it's incredible. And I also think that a lot of people, myself included, are wait, do people still make money off of blogs in 2023? And it's yes, they do, and they can make a lot of it. So I think that's so
Yeah,
cool. And also, I love that you're part of the creative community. So I
I
didn't realize
know.
it makes sense with arts and budgets. That makes sense now. I just never really put two and two together. But I was a
Yeah.
creative writer and did the theater stuff as well and chorus, all
Oh,
that. So too
all
many
that.
nerds.
Right. We're there, right there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and I
music,
think it's so
theater, thinking.
Yes. Well, and I think it's so interesting to have a creative background because I don't know about you, but it was almost like being like a starving artist was like the cool thing to do. It's like
I
we
know.
never thought that we would ever make money and only certain people made money. And so a lot of us did have those side hustles, or like me when I graduated college, I was like, I'm just not going to make any money, and here
Right.
we are.
Here we are, six figures business owners, and that's just like mind blowing.
I wish I could go back and tell little Chloe, like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine.
Right, 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 right. So true. Like I wish I could tell little Tasha, like, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna start making money from this blog. Like, just hold tight.
Yeah,
Sure.
right.
Keep doing it.
Exactly. So when you were launching your blog, is the main focus like budgeting content, side hustle content? Because I know that's a lot of what you do now. But when you first started, was that what it was? Or kind of what has been your evolution of arts and budgets?
Yeah, so when I first started, okay, so I saw other bloggers like making like earning money through the blog and I'm like, I could do that too. Like I feel like I could do this. Like I'm just going to step out and try. And I went into the personal finance industry and I was writing a lot of blog posts on saving money, budgeting and also making money and paying off debt. Then after that, I started to really niche down and focus on side hustles and, focusing on how to turn a side hustle into a profitable business, especially when my blog started to make money because I turned it into a business and went from like a side hustle to an actual business. So my love for side hustles and just turning a side hustle into a business grew. So I started to get other individuals like bloggers and entrepreneurs that weren't looking for like quick side hustles, but they were looking for how can I turn this blog into a business or how can I, what can I do to turn this side hustle into a profitable business? What are the steps? So I started focusing in more so on that. And that's kind of like where it's at right now.
Okay. And so for you, what were some of the biggest challenges that you had when you decided, hey, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going to stay at home, raise my kids, but also launch this business? What was kind of like the learning curve for you? Because you said for the first year and a half, you really weren't, you hadn't found your groove yet. And I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of people would have probably given up and you didn't. So, what were some of the obstacles you faced? And then when was the point where you're like, I got this? Like, I know what I'm doing and I'm figuring this stuff out.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like the first part was like after having a baby, figuring out how to time like the time management. My husband was gone at that point. Yeah, like he was working. So he was gone during the day. So I was trying to figure out, let me write the blog post when the babies sleep, and now I have three kids, right? Three boys. And then we have our last baby girl
Superwoman.
on the way.
Yes.
Right. So
4
trying
kids in 2023. I'm so impressed. And
I
a
know, I
thriving
know.
business.
Yeah.
Thriving business, dual income household, and 4 kids. You guys are amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's like really like pushing towards that. And I was like focusing in on that. And then I started to really like just study other bloggers. I was connected with other bloggers in Facebook groups because at that time, Facebook groups were really big for like bloggers, like connecting with other
Mhm.
bloggers, just learning. I just took that first year to learn, to trial and error. Like I was writing blog posts, in the Facebook forums, like posting up my post. They were like, you could post up your blog posts, and everything like that. And I had people coming to my site. But then I found a little gem called Pinterest. And Pinterest totally changed the game for me. I began creating Pinterest pins on Pinterest, and I began to link my blog posts to the Pinterest pins on Pinterest. And it just seemed like my traffic just skyrocketed from that platform alone. And this is before I started to focus on search engine optimization, which is my main source now. At the
Mhm.
beginning, Pinterest was really a leading factor to me turning my blog into a business because I was able to join like a ad management company like Mediavine, which I absolutely love. They are the best. They are so awesome. And join affiliate marketing programs. And I started to earn income from affiliate marketing and also like the ads on my site as well. So that was a turning
Mhm.
point in 2017. Like, okay, this is really good. And then I started to create digital products. And then in 2020, I started to study search engine optimization. What is this? What are we doing? Like, I really never studied it, but I started to study that. And to me, that seemed like it was like the most game changing thing for me with a blog. Cause like
Mhm.
my income went from like $1,000 a month to like over 5,000, then 10,000 like in 2021. It was just like, I'm just like, this is crazy. I had my first 20K month last year. And I was just like, this is crazy. All from like majority of it, like traffic, my blog traffic.
Wow. Okay, you're like already convincing me to join your course. I'm like, man, I want passive income. That sounds so cool.
Yes. It's the best. It's the best. It's my favorite. Probably my favorite. And, I have my course, Block for Profit Academy. I do love that so much too and connecting with the students. But passive income is so cool.
Yes. Well, and it's just nice, as entrepreneurs, every month is a little bit different. And it's just nice to have
Yeah.
multiple streams of income so that if something's not doing well one month, well, you've also got this going as well. So, and I think too, for us, like, especially you with 4 kids and the growing family, having stuff that doesn't require you to trade your time for money is key. And luckily with the course as well, because it's not a live training, right? Like it's all pre-recorded. So
Yeah. So
luck.
we do like 6 weeks of coaching. I do like 2 months of coaching with them.
Mhm.
I really like to connect with my students. I like to get to know you. What is your
Right.
blog? Let me do a blog audit. Let me know who you are. I need to I really love to connect with them. So I do 2 months of live coaching, but it is pre-recorded. So you do the work up front and I just add to.
Mhm.
I have experts coming in. I had Taylor Teeman, which is like a lawyer. She came in and talked about trademarks for bloggers, how to start an LC and things like that. So I bring in experts too. So I really like to make sure that they're able to know how to take this blog and turn it into a business, even if they're just starting.
Very cool. I love the live component in combination with the like self-paced because I think that's what a lot of us need is like the ability to work
Yes.
on our own and then also have somebody for like office hours to come and talk to. That's how the
Oh,
lazy investor is set up that way as well. So very
that's
cool.
perfect.
Yeah, it works out well. And like I do sometimes miss more of because I used to do one-on-one coaching, but one-on-one
Yeah.
coaching, it's just so time consuming and it's so capped at like how much time you have available to do it. And even
So
though I
true.
love that like one-on-one connection and the ability to like really truly help somebody in a very personal way, it got to the point where I was like, I can't do this and help a lot of people. Like this just isn't
Right.
possible. So
Right.
that was the 2021 and 2022 growth. I'm like, what year is it?
Right.
It's
We're
like,
20,
wait.
like, where we at? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, right, right. So that's very cool. So for you, for blogging over the years, since now you've been doing this since 2016, would you say the biggest obstacle was in learning that SEO process? Because I know SEO can be a beast, whereas Pinterest is like relatively intuitive. Like you're creating a pin, and I know there's a lot of things that you got to learn for Pinterest, but most folks can figure it out. SEO to a lot of people sounds like this is another language. Like
I
this is all like
know.
it like, I think some of us even think like SEO is like coding, and it's really not.
Yes,
It's
it's
more of
not.
like a game, it feels like.
It
So,
is.
was that the biggest hurdle for you, or was there something else along the way that you were like, that was really hard for me to get past that?
Yeah, so SEO definitely was one of the big game changers. I think another thing that helped me or what I had to really set up was consistency. Like
Yeah.
you have to be consistent on social media. How many platforms are you
Mhm.
on? Posting a reel, posting a post, doing a blog post every week. And now I have a writer helping me with the blog post for arts and budgets. And I just started another blog that's more like a niche site that
Mm,
I want to scale to like 5K months with like ads or, this year as well. But the majority of it was like, I feel like consistency and then also getting over that hurdle of not being scared of SEO and like really diving in and like learning, like, okay, I need to know what my target audience wants. That's key. I need to
mm,
learn like what should I be writing and not just writing blindly, but writing for them and knowing exactly what to write. And search
mm.
engine optimization and learning that really has been helpful for like going to that next step.
Well, and I imagine too, just learning search engine optimization for your blog also translates into you being able to create really niche specific content on Instagram. Right? Because it's like
Yes,
you're
yes,
searching
yes.
for what are people looking for? And it's like, well, I'll create a blog
No,
post and then I'll create some reels and then I'll create
there it
some
is.
pins. And it's like, it's just this constant full outflow of
Yeah,
content.
repurpose.
We're content machines.
Yep, and I
Yeah.
repurpose I do that all the time, like, I'm repurposing B-roll, behind the scene footage, from Instagram, taking it to TikTok, putting it into a blog
Mhm.
post, and, like, thinking of, like, what should I send my subscribers? Okay, you have a reel that went viral, repurpose that into an email for your subscribers, give them that
Mhm.
information too, so it's like repurposing it every single month. And that's what I'm like doing now to prepare myself. As I have my fourth baby in April, I am preparing like everything right now in order, basically, to make sure that it's ready to go and working while I'm off.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have anybody helping with you, or are you a one-person team?
Oh, I have a team now. Last year I was like, I can't do this anymore. But by myself, like I have my husband helping with like audio, video recording. I have a VA. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I love her. She helps with graphic design. She
Mhm.
does Excel stuff for me and all that jazz. And then I have a writer who also writes arts and budgets content. So that's the team right now. And I have my mom. She watches my kids a lot for us too. So we can
Hey,
record
shout out
content.
to the mom.
I know,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Like mom is like one of my best friends. And oh my gosh, she's the best. Like when my husband went out of town for a music event, she literally came over every day and brought us dinner, helped me clean up. I'm like,
That's so
this is
sweet.
the village. It takes a village, right?
Truly, I always like I can't imagine moving away and having children and like not having
Oh
any
my
kind of
God,
support
yes.
system. That would you'd have
Right.
to either be really wealthy or prepared to struggle, or I don't know. I don't know. Those are like the two
It's
options.
hard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Oh
hard,
man,
right?
that's definitely a huge blessing. That's really cool. I love that you've got a writer too. That's one of the things that I'm looking at potentially hiring in the next year. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, so for somebody who's like thinking about starting a blog, and also I have to highlight the fact that you mentioned very briefly she's starting another blog in 2023. So if you're listening to this thinking, meh, nobody's starting blogs in 2023. My time, that was a 2012 thing, whatever. She's literally starting a new blog that she casually was like, yeah, I want to bring that to 5K months.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
She's like,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
just another $60,000 a year from just a side blog.
Right. Exactly. Like that's how I see it now, and like yeah, it's totally possible. Like passive income through a blog and even like, scaling it up to a business. You could have the passive income and then you could also, like I was talking with you about digital products. You have like the signature course that you have. So you're making passive income and then you have other income, that you're making money on. So I've seen bloggers. I know one blogger, she made over like 600K last year and like people having $300,000. Like it is real. Utilizing those platforms like Instagram too is really game changer because I feel like the person that I saw that she made over 600K, she's like specifically on Instagram. Like she's just using
Mhm.
Instagram as like a vehicle. So it's
Interesting,
all
because
really
you
good.
hear about so I fell into a TikTok rabbit hole of I don't remember who posted. I think it was Money with Katie, like posted this tweet, and I can't remember who the person was, but there is a Twitch streamer. I want her name starts with like an A or something. She's got like well, sometimes she has bright red hair. Oh, I can't believe I forgot the name. But anyway, probably people who are like Twitch streamers probably know who I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
she makes 100K from Twitch every month, just from Twitch, but she
Oh,
uses Twitch wait for it. She uses Twitch to get subscribers to her OnlyFans, and her OnlyFans makes
ooh,
her like over $1 million every single month.
girl,
I'm like,
no,
what?
you serious?
I'm in the
Right.
wrong
For
business.
what?
Yeah,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right. She was smart. That's a
I
smart way to
know.
start a
I'm
business.
like,
Like, she knew what she was doing.
incredible. I'm just like, and she's constantly streaming. And I don't fully understand Twitch, but like she's constantly streaming. So like she's on there the most hours out of anybody, but then she's funneling people into her OnlyFans. And it's like, that is
Right.
genius.
That is
She could
genius.
do that
That
for
is
like
so good.
a couple of months and be done for the rest of her life.
Be done. Be straight up done
Yeah.
with that, okay?
Right.
If she does
But
it
like
right, you know?
right. Well, and that's kind of how like Instagram is for us. Obviously, it's not necessarily going to an OnlyFans, but it's going to our products, going to our blog, going to, whatever.
Right,
It was just wild. I'm like, dang, man, I'm in the wrong industry.
right. Like, oh my God, that's impressive. I have to give it to
I
that.
know.
Impressive.
I'm so mad I can't remember her name because I feel like I got to shout her out. But people who are twitching, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, they know.
100%.
They
Okay.
know.
So now I want to get to the juicy stuff of like, okay, I want you to talk to me like I'm a new person who's starting a new blog and is like, I want your life. I want to do this too. Like, what do I do? Where do I begin? How does one start a blog?
Yeah, so I feel like the first thing to do is really figure out what niche do you want to go into? What are your skills and talents? What do you want to write about? Because you can start a blog and not really want to write and get unmotivated and then stop. So really focusing
Mhm,
in on a niche that you're passionate about, but that is also profitable. And I go over this with my students, like we go over and kind of dissect or whatever and do like research on how to find niches that have a proven demand. Are people
mm,
searching for these niches? Do they need them? Right? You don't want to go into a niche with no competition. Like people think, oh my God, it's too much competition. I don't want to go into that niche. But that is far from being like on the like true, like, right? They think of like this too much competition that I can't do this, which is far from true. If there is competition, that is a good example of it having a proven demand and from people that you can work with, collab with, and it's just a good area to be in. But if you're also passionate about it, that's great too. I knew that I wanted to focus on helping people make money. People are always looking for ways to make money. They're always looking for side
mhm,
hustles. They're always looking, we just got through a pandemic, and like now, like what we're in right now, you know what I'm saying? So like, everybody's like, everything is going up, the prices are high. I need to make more money. So I knew that was a proven niche with a demand. And I did the backup research on like, keyword research tools just to see how many people were searching for those niches. And, you want to make sure that there is a proven demand. So I would say focus
mhm,
on your niche and then who do you want to help? Really think
mhm,
about who are these people? Are they moms that are new moms who are just learning how to navigate motherhood? Or are they men who want to learn how to fish? Who are these
mhm,
people? And really dive into that, right? And really dive into that and really focus your content around that. And you do keyword research to figure out what are the things that they really need and need right now. And then after that, you start creating blog posts and staying with consistency. Like I always tell people, like blogging is a long-term game. Like you might see
mhm,
results in 3 months, 6 months, or it might take a whole year, but keep going. Post at least one blog post like per week, right?
mhm.
And just stay with consistency.
Mhm. So I have questions about niche because I feel like there's, at least on Instagram, there's definitely mixed messaging on what people think is the way to
Yeah.
go. Do you think that it's important to go like hyper niche where you're like very specific? Like, not only am I talking about money content, but I'm talking about money content for moms in the Midwest who like the color purple? Or do you think of more of the niche as being like, more of a general topic? Like, is it different on blogs or where does it fall?
Yeah, so like with blogs, I've had a lot of success. I don't know about the other side, but I've had a lot of success with being a little bit broad. So I talk about side
Mm,
hustles, like for women, ways to make money for women. And I've had a lot of success with that,
mhm,
focusing in on some moms, but also focusing in on the single person who just wants a
mhm,
side hustle that's a woman too. So I've had a
mhm,
lot of success directly on the blog speaking to both, but mine is more so like side hustles make money for women, right? And
mhm.
I've had a lot of success with that. I have seen individuals who have had great success niching down like that too, though.
Like
Like their
super
product,
hyper?
yes, super hyper. Like they've had like this is all I talk about. I only talk about budgeting and that's it. Budgeting for men between the ages of 25 to 35, and that's it. And they've had
Mhm,
great success too. It's really just figuring out who's your target audience, who are the people that I really want to talk to, who do I want to help, and how can I make
mhm,
this work?
mhm. Well, and also like having enough to talk about, don't want to
That's
niche
right.
yourself down too much that you're like,
So
I
you
can't
have
also
nothing more
talk
to
about
talk
these
about.
things.
Right.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Like
That's
I said,
interesting.
yeah, because I was talking to someone, I was like, you want to, have it where you do have more like stuff to talk about. Like if you're just focusing in on like pink iPhones, let's say you're in the tech industry, you're gonna run out of stuff to talk about. Like there's only so
Right.
much you can talk about with pink iPhones, even if it's for men or women, right? So I was telling my
Mhm,
students like niching down to that capacity where it's like you're just focusing in on like maybe an object or something like that, where it's just like you're gonna run out of stuff to say. How much can you say about a pink iPhone? So
right.
I mean, the tech
Oh
industry
my
is
god.
really good, but it's like you really have to really, really get some audience. You want some audience, right? And that's why I always say it's
Yeah.
always good to find out if that audience has a proven demand. See who these people are, because you definitely want people, because those are the people who are going to buy your courses, buy your products, and go to your website and need your one-on-one
Mhm.
coaching.
And I think that's so key because as new entrepreneurs, a lot of us fall into the trap of trying to help everyone. And by helping everyone,
Oh,
you're helping nobody. So
no.
you've got to know.
Yeah, because when I first started, I made a budget template. I was making a social media course. I made what
Mm.
else did I make? I made a side, I had so much. I'm like, this is just not working. My head is spinning. I'm talking to everyone and I'm not focusing in on one specific audience and I'm overwhelmed. So I had
So
to
then
like,
Yeah, so then the other question I had about niche, it used to be, and I don't know if they're as popular as they used to be, there were so many lifestyle blogs, which lifestyle is so all encompassing. It's
all
like you
the
can talk
right.
about whatever. I guess it's kind of like just being an influencer. It's like you're talking about your
Yeah.
life, you're talking about those things. Do you think or see people having success still with the lifestyle brand, or do you think that's really only reserved for people who are already influencers, or what are your thoughts around that?
I would say if someone is an influencer that's really big on Instagram and then they start a lifestyle blog, it does work. I did see when I first started blogging, it was a lifestyle blog and they basically repurposed everybody else's content. So they were like everything from saving money to traveling. I mean, and their blog blew up. Like Pinterest was like
Mm,
their main thing. They had like over 10 million monthly views on Pinterest and they were really making a good living just from that. Does it always happen that way? No, not when like somebody just comes out, I have a lifestyle blog. I'm talking about food, I'm talking about travel, I'm talking about clothes, I'm talking about how to start a garden, I'm talking about
mhm.
technology all in one blog,
Right,
and
because
then
then
it's
your
like,
niche would like be your personality then. It's like you just hope that
yep,
like you find your people through
I hope.
who you are, and then
Yep.
it's yeah, post and pray.
That's it. Post and pray. Like that's
Mhm,
that is definitely it. I feel like individuals that do that, like they have YouTube following, right? People follow them on YouTube,
mm,
so they want to follow them, right? They're on
mhm,
Instagram, people are following them and they have, over 100,000 followers and people want to follow them. So they're going to follow the blog too. But just starting out
mhm.
with like a lifestyle blog can be a little bit harder. And that's what I tell my students. It could be definitely a little bit harder.
Okay, and what would you say, like, top 3 money-making niches right now in 2023, just based off of your experience? What would you say those are?
Oh, for sure. Personal finance is one. So if you're writing about side hustles, investing, budgeting, save money, people love this topic. That is a very proven demand niche. Also, travel is also a good one too. If you are a traveler and you're taking photos of where you're at, you can blog about that. That is a very high demand niche because people love to see photos, especially if you know
Mhm,
how to take the photos too, right? And then also the motherhood niche, breastfeeding, how to raise a toddler, how can I get through potty training? It is so many people wanting and learning about that topic in general for sure.
mhm, I love that. I'm surprised and not surprised because those topics have been around forever, right? People have
Yeah.
been talking about those things forever, and I think it's encouraging to hear people still want content on that. And
They
I know
do.
when I
Oh, and
first
food
when I
too. Food too. The food.
food
That's yeah.
really? See,
Yeah.
those
Food
are like
blog.
I feel like those are like evergreen. Like those topics, I feel like people
Evergreen.
are always
Hands
yeah, they
down.
always want to know that information. So it's really interesting to hear and also encouraging. So, man, you're just doing a really good job of making me want to blog more. Darn
Yeah, you really
it.
should do it. You would be
Yeah,
great at it.
I think I enjoy blogging a lot more than I enjoyed YouTube. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll let you know.
I'm gonna get on YouTube this year too. It's a curve for me. I've been putting it
Yeah,
off for you, but I think I'm gonna like start this year and really try to get consistent.
before or after you have a baby.
Probably after.
Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna launch my next product, I'm gonna have a baby, and then I'm gonna start YouTubing.
Here we go, right? Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so those are the top niches, which makes sense. And for me, or for somebody who's starting out, who's like, there's all these different traffic sources. How the
Mhm.
heck do I decide which one to focus on? Like, especially a lot
For
of people,
sure.
I assume, who start a blog, they probably have a full time job and they're doing this on the side. So
Yeah.
they've got to focus where the best effort based bang for their time is. What would you say, or what would you recommend?
Oh, Pinterest is one. I feel like Pinterest is good for traffic. Instagram is good for connection. So if you have a digital
Mm,
product like a course or something like that, Instagram is probably one of the best platforms so people can know that you're real, right? And they connect with you. They see your reels, they see your lives, they see your stories. That's a good place to connect if you want to sell a digital product like a course, or if you're doing an upcoming masterclass, a webinar. Instagram is the best for that. Pinterest is the best for building traffic if you're just starting a blog right now. So I would focus on those two platforms and then maybe add in TikTok. If somebody's already on TikTok and you're killing, stay there and like bring Instagram in because they could repurpose the TikToks and the
Mhm.
reels. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's kind of easy just to, or if I'm on Instagram a lot posting reels, I can also post on TikTok too. So they kind of go hand in hand.
Mhm.
Definitely, I would say if I was a new blogger, I would focus in on Pinterest and then also Instagram to build that community. Instagram really
Mm.
helps build a community of people who trust you, who want to learn from
Mhm.
you as well. Pinterest is more cold traffic. They're just clicking on the
Right.
post, going to your site. They may not come back, but you still got them to go to your site. So maybe you made passive income through ads that day. Great.
Mhm.
Instagram is more so building that community, getting, learning other people in your niche and things like that and your surrounding community and getting to know the people who want to know more about you and what you
Mhm.
do.
I love that you mention the different like purpose of each platform because that's how I kind of feel about like even Instagram versus TikTok. TikTok is like you have the potential to reach massive new audiences.
You
Whereas on
do.
Instagram, most of the time, unless you're going viral, you are engaging the audiences you already have. And like, yes, obviously every once in a while we go viral. We have a hopefully good experience of going viral on Instagram. And then we do bring in new faces. But TikTok is really like most of the time the people who are seeing your content are completely new people, and so
Yeah.
that kind of is similar with the TikTok versus Instagram. And I've heard, I don't remember who I heard this from, but like Pinterest, you have to think of like a search engine. Essentially people are using
You do.
it to search for things, so it
To
makes
search.
sense.
That's it.
Mhm. Okay.
Yep.
So Pinterest and Instagram, starting off with those. Luckily, I already got those. Well,
Yeah,
my
you
Pinterest is dire. My Pinterest needs some work.
okay.
I'm trying to think of what other questions I have, like as a new blogger. When you were starting out and figuring out how to manage your time, what was
Mhm.
like, did you batch create content? Were you repurposing content all the time? Like, what was your number one tip for managing your time? It sounds like you were doing a lot of stuff once the kids were asleep, which
Yeah.
we can all relate to like doing things very late into the night. But was there anything else that really helped your journey?
Yeah, so writing down 3 goals that I wanted to accomplish every day for my business. And that could be something
Mhm.
so far as email this person back, then start the outline for this course, and send an email to my subscribers. So 3 main things. And when I got done, I would check them off and that would help me just stay organized every single day because I like to take the weekends off and I also like
Mhm.
to take December off. Like the whole month of December I like to just be off. So just setting up those goals each day helped me just stay on task and help me feel accomplished at the end. Like, I got all
Yeah.
of that done. I love this. Like, okay, I feel accomplished. Now it's time to go
Oh,
get the
for
kids bath,
sure.
right? For the
Yeah,
night,
for
right?
sure. Literally, my planner has like you guys who are watching
I
it can
love
see it, but it
that.
has like the priorities for the day where it's like I literally
I
just pick
love
three
that.
things because it can get so
I love it.
overwhelming if you don't, you have
Oh,
to just
yeah.
focus on the three things. And then if you finish those, you can add something else to the list, but it's like
Yep.
trying to do everything all at once. It's a
It's a lot.
recipe for burnout.
Yep, and I feel like another thing that a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about, Chloe, I feel like is rest. You have to
Mhm.
have rest and give yourself the mental space to reset and refocus. If you're not feeling it that day, it's okay. Take the day off. Go get a
Yep.
taco, go get like something to drink, a coffee, whatever. Take the day, right? It's going to
Yep.
be there. Reset. And I feel a lot of entrepreneurs, like, I don't hear a lot about that. Like, reset, refocus. It's okay if this launch didn't work out the way that you thought. It's okay that, this didn't sell the way that you wanted to sell. Cause guess what? We have another chance to go at it. And we still have
Oh
that
yeah.
next day or that next month to try again. So keep trying,
Mhm.
stay consistent, figure out what works, what doesn't work, but always give yourself some rest.
Yes, no, that's so true. And I love that you mentioned like the ability to take off the month of December and doing things to prepare for that so that you can
Yeah.
and your business still goes on. I completely agree because also if you don't work in rest or some type of balance, you're not going to be able to stay in this for the long term because
No.
entrepreneurship is literally just constantly reevaluating things. in
Yeah.
finding new solutions to new problems. And something that used to work may not work anymore. And now you got like the Instagram algorithm is a perfect example. We have zero control over the Instagram
0.
algorithm.
0.
And sometimes we are creating content that we're like, they really like this. Let's keep doing this over and over again. And then boom, one day it changes. And you're like, the
Yep.
stuff that I used to do is not working anymore. And
Not
now I
working.
have to figure out what is working.
Let
And it's
go.
not like, yeah, and it's not like Instagram gives you a manual of like, this is
Just
what we want you to do. So like and that's in a micro sense. As an entrepreneur, you're doing a lot of things. You're not just doing Instagram, but it's like things stop working all of the time. And so if you go into entrepreneurship at all, you got to go in with this mindset that it's for the long term. I got to pace myself
yeah.
and I have to know that I'm not a failure because something failed. I
Yeah.
have to just keep learning and trying new things. And it's something I got on my soapbox because it's something I really had to learn in the last year.
Yeah. That's good. You are hitting it right on the nail. Like, absolutely.
Things change all the
Absolutely.
time. Do things change a lot
They
in
so much.
SEO? Even in SEO, like, or is that
They
generally the
do.
same?
Kind of the same, but it does change because Google might have an update, and they might knock
Mhm.
you off the first page of Google, and you're like, "What just happened here? How am I living life now?"
Yeah.
Like, right? So
Yeah.
everything I'm telling you right now, Instagram, SEO, everything does change. SEO, maybe not as much as Instagram, but it does have changes though.
Oh my gosh, Instagram, it's like every other like week,
Oh my
I feel like.
oh my god, and then they have
Every
the
other
fake
week.
pages of us too. They have people making fake pages of us too, so it's just like, "Oh my god." Just try to stay
Oh
ahead
yeah.
of the game, ahead of the curve.
Mhm. Well, and I think too, going back to like bringing traffic to your new blog, I like that you mentioned specifically two different platforms because what if
Yeah.
your Instagram gets shut down? What if your
I
Pinterest? What if you do something
know.
wrong and it gets shut down? So it's like you do need to have that level of diversification, but trying to focus on just two things instead of 10 definitely
Yeah.
is going to set you up for better success. Okay, I
Absolutely. And
got,
focusing on SEO, like SEO, then the 2 platforms. Yep. You're in
yeah.
good space.
All right, all right. You're doing a good job of convincing me. Like I said, it's gonna be another. It was already a goal of this year, and like I said, I was already
Yes.
peeping. I was peeping your course. I was like, I might have to do this. Not right now because I don't have time,
Yes.
but I think I'm going to. So,
Yes.
um,
Absolutely.
I know the teacher, and I know she's good. So,
Yes. Thank you.
I got like two more questions and then a fun question. Um,
Yeah.
In terms of like technology or resources or tools that you highly recommend new bloggers, general bloggers look into, what would you say your top three favorite blogging tools are? Whether that's for like
Yeah.
keyword research or something else.
Yeah, so, like, for keyword research, I love Ahrefs. I also if you're looking for more of a budget-friendly one, you could check out keysearch.co. I also love like, email marketing is really huge because, like you said, you don't own social media, so get your email list up, guys, get it up, start it. MailerLite has a good platform for that. ConvertKit also is another great platform, and you can get started for, like, free for, like, the first 1,000 subscribers for both of those. So it's just depending on which one you wanna go to or which one you like. The user friendly is really gonna be like a basically what someone really which platform they like the best. I know ConvertKit is a little bit more higher, but I love it though. I do
Mm-hmm.
love the interface. But MailerLite gets the job done too, and I had them for like 5 years as
Mm,
well.
okay.
And then what's another great tool? Probably a social media scheduler like Hootsuite or something like
Mm,
that. It's good just so you could have posts like on autopilot as well. So like a keyword research tool, start your email lists and get like an email marketing platform, and maybe get some schedulers, like a social media scheduler or things like that. Oh, and I have to put a fourth one in there, Canva. OMG,
oh yeah.
Canva, probably my favorite tool. So awesome. You can make graphics for Pinterest, Instagram. If you are a new blogger, make your Pinterest pins on Canva. It is like the
Mm.
best platform for that. I absolutely love it. I create a lot of reels from Canva, with the backgrounds and stuff like that. And it's just totally just super helpful. So those are
And
like
it's
my
like
two.
even the free version of Canva is like beefy. It
Yeah.
is so nice. Like I
So nice.
I don't know if I've ever had like a free tool that expansive. I didn't even upgrade to
No.
Canva Pro until gosh, I was probably a year and a half into like the business. I was just like, you know, I
Yeah,
just kept using the free version, but Canva Pro is pretty sweet too. So
I love it.
co-sign on that for sure.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. And then what are your just three general final tips? We've already talked about finding your niche, figuring out who you want to serve. Is there any other like pieces of advice you would want to give somebody who is starting out, maybe struggling, maybe in that year and a half that you were in, you know,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what am I doing wrong?
Right. So I feel like one of the best advice I got throughout my career is to try not to compare yourself to other people's. Like you're beginning with somebody's middle or end. We see a lot of people having 10K, 20K, 30K, 100K months, but try to really focus in on your genius, what you do that's awesome, and really focus in on that because that's what's going to set you apart. That's the thing that people want to hear from you, your story. Nobody has your
Mhm.
story. Focus in on that. So really trying not to compare because when we compare, we could get just down and sad. Like I'm not doing enough. Like I just had a 20K month, but gosh, it wasn't 50K. So let's focus
Mhm.
in on those wins. That's another thing. Focus in on the stuff that is working. What are you doing that is working? Focus on those wins and put them up if you have to so you can see them, and then really just, stay with it with consistency and do trial and error test. So if you're focusing on keywords, figure it out what keywords are working, what's not. You're doing, like you're doing creating a digital product, figure out what's working with that, what's not. Really do the trial and error. Look at those insights. Look at Google Analytics. Look to see what people are really gravitating towards and then take notes, right?
Mhm.
Maximize on that.
I love it. And I gotta echo the comparison thing. As content creators, it is really easy to fall into the comparison trap. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yes.
so hard. And I struggled with that a lot last year. I really had to actually like I had to mute some of my friends. I was like, it's not because I don't love you, but it's because something about this is triggering something in me to tell me that
Very
I'm not
true.
enough and I'm not doing enough. And it's like, I support you and I love you. And you don't need to know that I muted you. But like
Exactly.
doing, yeah, doing that gave me so much peace of mind. And it really also just helped me to remind as soon as I started scrolling or going to somebody's page to like check out like how their performance is and if they're getting as many views as I'm getting or if they're getting more, I would literally just have to stop myself and just be like, I
Yeah,
need to focus on my own stuff because the
very
thing
good.
is what works for some not even beyond besides the like impacts on your mental health and the ability for you to keep going,
Yeah,
what works for somebody is not always going to work for someone else. In fact, it rarely works for somebody else. So you
you
have
really,
to
that's
figure
so good.
out you got to figure out what works for you and your community and what your special sauce is. So just wanted to echo that. But great tips. I feel like I learned a lot. I have a
Yay.
fun question for you. But before we get to the fun question, promote yourself, tell people where they can find you. Oh, I got to add on to her pieces of advice. I would also say a piece of advice that she didn't say is hire help. Hire
Oh,
somebody.
yes.
If you get to the point where you're like, I've been doing this for a year and a half, I'm not seeing any results, invest in your business. If you are going to
That's
take
it.
this seriously, invest in
Girl,
your business.
yes.
And that's coming from two money coaches. Like, I would comfortably say that if somebody is truly dedicated to growing their business and taking it seriously, it's okay to get a little bit in debt in order for you to really dedicate yourself to this business. Now, that's not saying go out there and buy a $10,000 course, but get the help you need. Yeah,
Get
to
it.
get
Get the
yourself to
coach,
the next
right?
level. Yep.
Get the coach, get the books, get the courses, whatever it may
Mhm.
be, invest in yourself because I had to invest in myself, and so have you, Chloe. And that has
Yeah.
been like it's like some of the best investments of my life. Like literally. I was just talking
Even
to you about
and
it.
Yeah, and like literally the longer you stay in it, it's not like you stop investing in yourself. It's like you just
That
look
right.
for the next level up. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, last year I spent money on a business coach and a business course, and this year I'm going to spend money on something else. So it's like
Yep.
you're constantly going to be investing in yourself. Sometimes you might make some bad
Yep.
decisions, but that's
Yep.
okay. That's part of the learning process. But don't
Mhm.
be afraid to invest in yourself for sure. All
That's
right.
really good.
Tell them where they can find you, promote yourself, do all the things.
Oh, yeah. So you can find my blog at artsandbudgets.com. You can find me on Instagram at Arts and Budgets or at I am Latasha Peterson, which is my newer account. Those are the two places you can find me. I'm on Twitter and Facebook at Arts and Budgets as well. So you can find me anywhere, basically on the social media platforms, TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook at Arts and Budgets for sure.
Awesome. All right. And we'll leave links to all that down in the show notes. So, my final question for you is what is your very first money memory?
Oh, wow. That's such a good one. When I was younger, oh,
Just
wow.
the very first one.
Oh, probably saving money that my mother used to give me. Because I grew up in a house
Oh,
where debt was seen was as normal, but I would save money under my mattress, like, saving money back then, like, I was, like, 12, 13.
lady.
Yeah, I would save it, like, in an envelope, like, under my mattress, and, like, it was just building up. When I was
Oh
little.
my gosh. So, you've always been a saver then, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've always been a saver, and it's so funny because I didn't grow up in a house like that. Like, they were
Yeah.
like I feel like my family was like, "Let's use this debt and get more debt and more debt," right? It's like we joke about it now, but I've always had it in my heart to save money. And now I know, I learned about investing later that it's
Mhm.
great to invest that money so it can grow.
Yeah. Uh-huh, it's not gonna grow for you under that mattress. That's so cute, though. I love
Yeah.
that that was but I love that that's the hiding spot that you were like, "This is it."
Yep. That was at, like, 12 and 13 for sure.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Well, thank you again for coming on. I learned a lot. I'm sure you'll see me in your course soon, but we'll keep in touch over the gram as well.
Yes. So thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Absolutely. Okay, so who wants to start blogging with me? I feel like I'm ready to really start taking it seriously after I launch something new that's coming out hopefully by March. I'm not like assigning a date to it because I am concerned I'm not going to be able to get it out, and I don't want to stress myself out too much because I don't need to. But anyway, I'm getting tired, so we're gonna wrap it up here. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to more resources. Obviously, since we're talking about finances, keep in mind nothing on this page is to be taken as financial advice. It's all for education and entertainment purposes only. And if you made it this far and you haven't already subscribed and left a review, why do you hate us? Just kidding. But that does help us out a lot. So if you take a second to do that, I sincerely appreciate you. So that's all for now, my friends. I'll see y'all next week. Bye bye.